Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? I'm here with my special guest, Jared from Comics League. How you
Been a
doing,
long
buddy?
time. I haven't been on this channel in a while.
Indeed, indeed. And what's up, Brown Destroyer? How you doing?
Dude, what's up?
Now, unfortunately, this is not a new direction video. I mean, due to scheduling conflicts, we had to prioritize some things.
Those are coming up, though.
They are. But to make it up for you, this has been a long time coming. We originally tried to do this collab. I want to say sometime around this time last year, but we had technical difficulties and we had to cancel it.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, better late than never.
Amen.
But before I show you this, Jared, a quick refresh on the Dcamu. Like, did it really give you that New 52 experience, or was it just
the first two movies did? The first two movies definitely did. You could argue Justice League versus Teen Titans was when it was the last one that actually felt like it lived in the New 52 Earth, but then you get to Death of Superman, and I knew something was up because the trailers went off on YouTube and they were talking about how Lois is Superman's greatest love. And I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on here? Later would find out that lazy a-holes, they ended it off screen. And before you say anything, Jay Heat, I am never going to let that go.
Well, at least someone agrees with you.
Thank you, Brown Destroyer. Yeah, it destroyed my in any way respect for Peter J. Tomasi.
But I feel like with all that being said, we'd be here all day. So we might as well go ahead and get it out the window. But before we begin, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. But I would come across as a contrarian if I didn't say this. I was not a big fan of the New 52 back when it was in publication. I will openly admit that. Now, do I respect it as a commercial product? Yes, it helped save the company and it made DC a lot of money. Did it implode within the span of 5 years? Also true. Two things can be true at once. But this is a chance to have a fair conversation before James Gunn's DCU kicks off, assuming it even gets off the ground. And this is just good old fun.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
So with that being said... And again, these are some of my opinions with a little bit of banter, from Nick here and there. From Jared here and there.
Wait, whoa.
Hey, we were just on the other
stream.
Old. We were just on the other stream not too long ago.
All right. By the way, I got something pretty cool in the mail. This is finally got the Snyder McFarlane Wonder Woman from Batman vs. Superman.
Hold on. Nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, and these were the movie. This is the first time that I at least saw a cinematic universe done in the animated movies. I know DC has. I mean, they you could kind of say that the ones pre-Flashpoint were kind of in one continuity, but I don't know.
They were mostly prioritizing the storylines being adapted rather than a continuity in of itself. And there's nothing wrong with...
they would later do that in this.
Yeah, this is just a brief prologue from when I was originally making the script together. Again, just repeating what I was saying in the beginning. Yeah, you knew this was going to be dead last year. Come on.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. This movie is good literally up until the end when they reveal who Hush is. And their excuse was, well, then you'd know who Hush was. You'd understand the whole story. And I'm like, then don't adapt Hush.
Yes, Riddler played a role, but okay, you know what? I might as well go into my commentary. Please feel free to pause if you actually want to read this in its entirety, but I'm just going to give you the clip notes. Basically, I pretty much say that this should have been Jason Todd and pretty much make this an inverse Under the Red Hood. Now, admittedly, Arkhamverse did try this with Arkham Knight, but the setup was atrocious. With a good script, it could be done. But at least it would have been better than trying to retcon Riddler into the main villain role. And then you weren't even being subtle about it by, oh, Riddler's a C-lister. Oh, he's a joke. No one takes him seriously. It's not even a subversion at this point. It's just, you know what I'm trying to say, Jared?
Yeah, exactly. It's like... But the problem with this here is that, for the most part, up until that end part, it is pretty close to Hush. And I was really surprised. Then it just gets to that end part, and I'm like, that's not from the book. Why is this one that low? This was actually pretty fun. What are you talking about?
Look, I'm sorry, but this is pretty much a ripoff of Dark Knight Rises. Structurally speaking, this is pretty much Dark Knight Rises, but animated.
Except it's not as long.
Yeah, all right. All right. So maybe I'm nitpicking a little, but as the end to a trilogy, it's pretty lackluster. As a standalone, this would have ranked a lot better if Bad Blood was standalone or adapt. But as part of the trilogy of Batman films, not counting Hush, it's just a lackluster end to a trilogy, at least in my opinion.
That's true.
But now wait, before y'all get
Are you kidding me? This is how low you put this?
Before I get mad, 2 words: ultimatum.
No, don't you dare compare this to Ultimatum. This is not Ultimatum.
It's grimdark. It's over.
Nobody eats another person and says it's like chicken.
Pretty sure one of the Paradooms does that, but
yeah, but it's not like another character is eating someone. That's not fair, bro. Come on.
It works as a finale.
They even kill Lois Lane in that movie. You can't have it that low if it kills Lois.
Potential contrarianism aside, I'm not having it this low simply because of all those things. Because you have the gravitas and the gore and the edginess. There's not much of a story here. This is clearly a wrap-up film. There's not much of a story here. That's the reason I have it so low. Now, if I was counting those features, I probably would put it in the top 10 if I was willing to disregard that. But I got to be objective here.
Man, this is a crappy list so far.
And because I know someone's going to talk about it in the comments, just because 2 actors doing voice lines together have good chemistry doesn't mean you get to go all ship crazy. Again, if you want to read these out, you're more than welcome to pause these during the playback. I do not mind it. If anything, I welcome it. But some things should not be adapted. That's all I'm saying.
Are you kidding me? Jen, this is a crappy list.
Again.
Wow.
Aquaman 2018 did this film so much better.
What a crappy list. This came before Aquaman 2018. You can't compare this. Come on.
It's the same story, same adaptation, same structure. The only difference is Orm comes out as a bratty man-child, whereas in the movie he's at least somewhat cumbersome.
Orm always comes out as a bratty man-child. What are you talking about? You're acting like that's a new thing.
Yeah, but then they try to add this last-minute subversion for. Okay, I just feel like Again, This is why I said what I said. Just drop the pretense to have Manta be the villain from the start. Maybe have Orm be a secondary villain. I feel like the roles.
But that's not the Throne of Atlantis, though.
I mean, all Throne of Atlantis is Orm turning against Arthur in a power grab and the 2 fighting. You really don't need the death of Atlanta and the mommy issues.
If you're adapting a thing where Orm was the main villain and then you make it another villain, isn't that technically what Hush did?
True. Now, again, that's a very good point, Jared. That's very true. So, just because you have an adaptation doesn't mean you have to do a play-by-play every time. You have opportunities to change things to where you could get any arguably even better story out of it. Now, if you drop the pretense and have the whole thing be about Manta's feud and his machinations, you're just the tragic demise of Atlanta compared to Aqua Baby, for example. And I just feel like there's an opportunity for a better story there. Again, nothing against Sam Liu. That's just my opinion there. And the reason I say this, as an adaptation, yes, it's a play-by-play, straight off the original story outside the roster change and Nightwing already being established. This is very much a Nightwing movie.
Yeah, however, pretty much.
The plot only works if Nightwing and Starfire make stupid decisions throughout from a leadership standpoint.
They always make stupid decisions throughout.
Jared, are you trying to get me demonetized?
Yes, I do. I am.
And again, as I reiterate here, there were certain aspects they try to lift directly from the comic and then try to mix Teen Titans 03 Terra
Like
with
the Terra, it's like the Terran Slade thing.
not so much that, but more so how in Teen Titans 03 Terra was more misguided and sympathetic, whereas in whereas in source material she was a traitor and villain throughout. They try to create this high Frankenstein's monster, the two pun intended if you saw Creature Commandos, and in execution it just didn't work.
I can kind of see that.
Now, Jared, anything you want to add before we move forward with the top 10?
Nah, this one can be where it is, I think.
Yeah, Batman and Robin top 10. Now, say what you will. All right, Jared, would you say this was the best out of the Bat Blood trilogy?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, 110%. They did the Court of Owls so well in this.
Yeah, and they sprinkled a decent subplot with the whole father and son between Bruce and Damian. And Talon works as a menacing villain, getting in both Bruce and Damian's heads. So Batman, sure, say what you will about the plot problems and the unnecessary angst, but Talon as a villain carries the movie on his back, at least in my opinion.
I would love a Talon movie.
And as for this
one, top 9, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, you're more than welcome to read this. Yeah. I really tried to...
Wait. You put Throne of Atlantis that low and Wonder Woman Bloodlines above it?
You're comparing... Okay, at least with Wonder Woman
Bloodlines... Wait a minute here. I'm sorry, Jay Heath. This is a crappy list.
Let me cook, because you at least get a semblance of a story here. Diana gets more agency outside of being the larger ensemble of the Justice League. Diana Steve Trevor gets some resolution before the Apocalypse War. And yeah, it's mostly in flashbacks and fight scenes, but you at least get something other than a dragged out edge fest.
There were plenty of in Throne of Atlantis, it's not a dragged out edge fest.
Jeez. And of course, Teen Titans vs. Teen Titans goes honorable mention because the Dcamu Titans get a cameo here.
Okay, yeah, I'll accept that.
Justice League Dark at number 7.
Yeah, that was good. I love where he's like, "How are you this capable, Batman? I have a butler." Okay, yeah, I'll put this up there. That was a fun one.
Yeah, and I wanted to count the tie-in comics as well as 2 and 1.
I didn't know there was a tie-in comic for it. Oh,
yes, it wasn't even, and it was not marketed at all. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. Come on,
of the two, Reign was better, except for that one Lois Diana interaction. But of the two, Reign was way better. So I'll give you that. This is one I haven't seen.
Trust me, if you did, you would at least have an idea of where I'm coming from. Justice League Wars, it's just one big fight scene.
That's what the book was.
Yeah, but again, that's why I couldn't really judge it for that. But in terms of animation, characterization, and it didn't overstay its welcome. And it actually did set up later plot points that would be carried over in Throne of Atlantis. It did what it was supposed to do.
There you go.
And come on, after what was the disaster of Superman Doomsday? Come on, I mean that.
What Jay Heath? This list, man. Why is that number? Oh God, that crapshoot. The problem with this comic is they put them in the new 52 design, so people thought this was actually a new 52 comic, and they actually did plot points from the new 52 that were not in the animated movie.
But you won't disagree with this one.
Actually, what did I say? That's the number 1. Character designs were wonky, but besides that, yeah, that's at least good for top 5. I'll give you that.
Now, again, these are strictly from... Now, you can carry like fan service and story beats and all this and that, but I always like to see things from more a story standpoint. Like, do they do anything to branch these characters apart? What would I see differently compared to reading the comic on my bookshelf, for example? Half of
story points. Do you take off points if they do stuff off screen and take away vital plot points?
Yes, but considering what was the synergy that was going on at the time, you weren't going to get a whole lot before the shakeup with.
Just give me a line where they say, "Okay, you know what? they broke. Just give me a scene in a movie where they break up. That's
Wait,
all you need.
Wasn't that the training simulator in Jeff of Superman?
Also, wait. Here's where it gets bad. Here's where it gets really crappy for me. This is how Superman reveals his identity to Lois. I'm Superman. As if his girlfriend that he's about to propose marriage to has never seen him without his glasses on. I'm like, when Superman and Lois did that in the show, I was like, oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. That is the laziest identity reveal of all time.
Now, again, I gotta come clean here. Half this listing was to troll Jared. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I could tell that. I could definitely tell that. The minute you put number 2, Taladia, he puts out the Superman as his number 2 favorite. Taladia, back me up here. He put Wonder Woman. He put Throne of Atlantis on like 12. And Taladia, you are frozen right now.
While we're waiting on him, okay. So all right. Let's get all of our system. We all had a good laugh, but jokes aside. Ultimately, I don't think the Dcamu was bad. I just feel like there were certain things that could have been improved upon. Like, it all boils down to execution is what I'm trying to say. Now, I could have pulled a Wonder Bat or played the real or trolled Jared all night till I was blue in the face, but I didn't want to be a jerk.
Now you choose not to be a jerk? Now you choose not to be... your whole list is you being a jerk, dude.
Oh, sorry. I had to. After you made me read more and react to Marvel and Quest for Peace,
you didn't do, by the way. No. You can't use that. You cannot use that as a justification because you didn't read the book.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Not when I told you to.
Okay. All right. How's it going, Taladia? Sorry, we didn't mean to cut your intro.
No, it's all right. I know that my internet's been acting up. It's been a crazy, day where my internet's been going up and down, up and down.
Man, do I know that feeling? But yeah, I decided to have a little fun at Jared's expense.
Bro, he puts Death of Superman at number 2.
Compared to Superman Doomsday, I mean, it's like night and day.
We're not compared to Superman Doomsday. It's not in continuity. Flashpoint wiped it away. Thank you, Flashpoint.
But as an adaptation and as a story, like, come on.
Why were they adapting Death of Superman in the New 52?
Because they were course correcting. I mean, I thought this was common knowledge.
Because they were idiots. That's why.
We're on that trigger point with Jared, guys.
This was worth it. I know I pissed him. I pissed
you
him off.
Freaking a-holes. You know that?
Hey, I
didn't come on this podcast today. Oh my god.
Guys, it wasn't my fault.
I blame you by association, Taladia.
I just got here.
Oh my gosh, that list. God damn.
Okay, Brown Destroyer. You probably already know this already, but the DC animated original movies was like the first time they started this division back in 2007, and Superman Doomsday was one of their first projects. So this was their real first attempt of adapting a storyline with the kitty gloves off. And let's just say the writers got carried away in that film.
Oh, no. It's essentially they have to take their diapers off and actually act like adults. You don't get to necessarily the adaptation you want because you're not in the universe anymore. I'm just sick and tired of creatives wanting the continuity to always be the way they were when they were young in the Stone Age.
Okay, all right. Since we're talking about this, we might as well talk about it. I mean, again, we're starting to see this online with Creature Commandos and how Snyder's other works are being compared to how in poor taste Creature Commandos episode 2 was, and I'm just like, guys, it's subjective. Let's not do this. Let's try to at least watch the full season and see the product as a whole.
Yep, it's enjoyable. It's not anything that's really offensive for me.
It's enjoyable, yeah. So, I mean, it's not pushed me to the limit where I say, okay, I'm not watching this show ever again, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm still reacting to it, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm still gonna check it out. Mm-hmm. But As soon as Jared said, "Yeah, I'm interested," I'm just like, okay, if Jared likes it, I gotta check it out just to see for myself.
Yeah, but
you kind of technically have to do both, Tevia, because they kind of go hand in hand. It's a duology, so you kind of have to do both.
I would have loved that they did Funeral for a Friend, which is just people sitting around going, "I can't believe he's dead."
But,
by the way, Taladia, did you see what I got in the mail today?
What did you get?
McFarlane Wonder Woman from BVS.
Oh, okay, sweet. That's why you were so excited. I saw the DM on site.
I was like, I finally have a Snyderverse McFarlane Wonder Woman because they didn't re-release her for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So this is the closest I can get.
And let me guess, you're like making sure that Superman and Wonder Woman are close to each other so they can
Yes.
You're just setting him up at this point.
You're saying that as if there was any doubt.
No, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want just a little fun since it's the first time we've all collabed together.
Fun for you.
but in all seriousness, mistakes were made with certain films, but for the most part, in all seriousness,
try the Wonder Woman movie.
I never said Bloodlines was good, Jared.
You said it's better than Throne of Atlantis.
I ranked it higher
because of a tier list.
I ranked it higher because it was a slightly better story.
Whoa.
No.
Oh,
my friend.
Forcing Steve Trevor for no reason because they forced a plot device to be a love interest. Wow. But okay, I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course.
Mayor, 2 words: Amber Turd, but animation.
But she wasn't that important to Aquaman.
Neither was Steve Trevor, but there was resolution and continuity and build-up.
The resolution should have been Medusa turns him to stone and then crushes him. Because Taladia, we were so close. Medusa turns Steve into stone. And I'm like, oh, yay. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he wakes up.
Can I make a kind of like a prediction?
Sure.
Right.
Imagine if the Wonder Woman game that Medusa's already turned Steve Trevor into stone. And that's why we're going to Themyscira to fix that.
Maybe.
Nope. Wait, you mean the comics?
No, the game.
No, the game.
Why would you base an entire plot around first off, Medusa is not on Themyscira.
Tom King did something similar with his run.
I mean, mind you,
Tom King is not exactly the arbiter on what's adequate Wonder Woman stories, Jay Heat. I know you're trying to troll me.
I'm sorry, this is just too easy.
Now, I'm just saying, because I'm just like thinking, I'm just saying this would be so sweet if they got rid of Steve Trevor that way.
If they got rid of Steve Trevor, yes. Can I choose not to save him? I'll just walk away. Game over.
By the way, Creature Commander.
Cameron, what movie we on? No. It's a general conversation.
Yes, it's a general conversation. But yeah, catch the playback. I'm sure you're gonna get a good laugh out of it.
Watch them antagonize me.
Hey, I just joined like 5 minutes ago, so you.
But in all seriousness, I'm not going to say any of the Dcamu films were bad, except Hush and Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Those were god awful. There is no saving.
Then why did you put that above Throne of Atlantis if you think it's a bad movie?
Because
this makes no sense.
Jared, I'll explain it to you. If it makes you feel better, I'll explain it to you. It's Wonder Woman getting a solo film. It carries resolution from the whole Super Wonder debacle from the New 52.
It doesn't have any resolution for that. What are you talking about?
Simple. Diana moves on with someone else in the universe ends. Like
seriously, that's not a resolution. That and the universe doesn't end in that movie.
I thought I would give it a few brownie points just for you, man.
Don't.
No. Can I interject here for a second?
Please.
Guys, why do I show up to these podcasts?
No, hey, I'm on your side, Jared, on this, right?
Thank you. Someone's on my side.
Can I say, right? Firstly, Throne of Atlantis was a better adaptation.
It was
compared to Death and Reign of Superman, I'm sorry, but that's my take on that.
Okay, all right, let's talk about it.
Okay,
no, I'm genuinely curious. Go ahead.
They actually adapted the comic. I tried that.
They adapted the comic almost 1-to-1, right? They got the kiss of Superman and Wonder Woman correctly.
That automatically adds about 10, 20 points in the resolution. But it's like, it's the other thing is like, it doesn't use Diana as a mouthpiece to bash another character or advance an agenda like Tucker used for Diana. And it was like, oh, Clark Kent was nice, but you're his true love. And I'm like, shut up.
By the way, yeah.
No wonder your universe got nuked. You deserve it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was just dark.
I'm talking about the universe being rebooted. Yes, thank you, Randy. Randy's on my side.
Taladia, you were saying?
I was going to say, the reason I also think that it's also really cool Throne of Atlantis compared to Death of Superman is because of the costume design. They got the costume design right.
Oh, yeah, they didn't go with the crappy Rebirth suit. They actually had the new 52 suit.
Yeah. That's another bonus point. So you can't take that away from me.
I was never going to.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I know some people in the chat will.
But yeah, I decided to have a little fun with the list there. But ultimately, okay, all right. You know what? I owe it to Jared. He's been good to us as a fellow co-host in Comics League. I owe him this. We'll go through as many of the films as we can. At least try to break down what the pros, what we liked about it, and try to just speed run it. Is that fair?
Let's do it.
All right, we're not counting Flashpoint because it's technically a prologue, and that's a pretty solid adaptation.
Plus, is it really part of the DC AMU, though?
I mean, it gets referenced in Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, but other than that...
I guess.
But, okay, all right, we'll add it in. What would you change as an adaptation?
The character designs look kind of wonky because with Flashpoint, if you notice, the heads are really small on the characters. Like, Superman's shoulders go out to, like, here, and his head's, like, really small. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Okay, character design to a lot of anything you would change from 5-Point Paradox?
The heads, the design for Superman in the Flashpoint part of it. Right,
and the faces kind of looked the same on certain characters. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing there.
No. Yeah, but you know what I mean, Jared? The costume design for Superman, they look weird.
Mm-hmm. I agree on that. It also got kind of weird when we saw Flashpoint Superman because, yeah, I get he's supposed to be gaunt, but it's like it's a little odd. At least I think.
Yeah. It's a little odd, but anyway.
Okay, all right. We'll move on to Justice League War.
Okay, let's do this. Justice League War. Awesome. Faithfully adapts the comics. Obviously, you don't have like Aquaman on the league because for some reason they wanted to do Aquaman in his own movie, and I'm like, well, that's dumb. But Shazam kind of fits, and had the badass fight scene between Superman and Darkseid. I love that. And set up for Super Wonder. In fact, it was so good. That's the first clip of my Super Wonder Legacy intro.
As for me, the only real thing I would change is, I'm not going to lie, they should have just adapted the comic and had Aquaman be part of the Founding Seven instead of swapping it for Shazam. I know they were technically setting up Throne of Atlantis as a sequel, but I mean, the characterization is completely different. Aquaman's already, he's kind of already doing his thing in the New 52. You don't really need to give him an origin story.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing I would change.
Yeah, exactly.
Talada, anything you would change on War?
Not really. Like, everything is good as is. The score is really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish Superman had a theme in Justice League War.
Well, it wasn't a Superman movie. That's the thing.
No. Because think about it. Batman had his own type of feel to it as well.
Yeah, but Batman had solo movies. Superman didn't.
That is true. That kind of sucks, though, isn't it? Like,
oh yeah, it definitely sucks. I'm telling you.
Because they could have made a lot of bang from that. So, but that's my little nitpick about it.
All right, fair enough.
Maybe Green Lantern doesn't. I know it's part of the original comic, but maybe not have Green Lantern get job like throughout and get no real time to shine. I mean, give him something, even if it's just a cheap shot.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just me. But no, Tevye, because you're just copying the DCAU at that point.
No, yeah. Why would you do that? Plus, it wasn't adapting that universe. It was adapting the New 52, where he wasn't on the League.
But
all right.
I think the cool thing about Justice League War compared to the DCAU was the fact that the design for Darkseid and the design for, I would say, even the design for Wonder Woman looks really, really interesting.
I really like that. I liked how they went slightly different with the Wonder Woman look as opposed to just copying the New 52 look. They had some elements of it with like the silver W, but they still had some fun stuff.
Yeah, and like I had like a turtleneck type of thing.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I wonder if that's a costume. So I'm just gonna put that
in the Wonder Woman game. Oh yeah, it was a costume in Multiverses.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It was part of a video game. So I'm just like thinking, I think the Dcamu did really well starting from Justice League War, starting to build up the hype around Wonder Woman.
It did. Now, Son of Batman, now this is just a nitpick, mind you. This is just me. I would have put Tim Drake in this movie.
I would Robin in this universe.
Yeah, Damian ends up getting the mantle by the end, but the reason I say that is because if you're going to play that whole sibling banter and the two going back and forth, it works, or at least it's more fans expect it more from Damian versus Tim rather than Damian versus Nightwing, because then you're just trying to make a mainstream turn Damian into Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, Jason and Tim don't exist in the Dcamu, and that's a good excuse. But I feel like if you have Damian and Tim butt heads, and then Nightwing try to be the voice, be the adult in the room, that just would have led to a more organic dynamic rather than, okay, we're just turning Damian to Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But all in all, that's largely the one thing I would have changed about Son of Batman. You, Jared?
It's pretty solid as far as I'm concerned. It does what it needs to do, and that's important. And it's one of those movies where when I mean, obviously as the Deathstroke movie, I definitely like that. Don't let Pika hear you say that because he hates this movie because of how it portrayed Slade. But I was fine with it. I thought it was pretty fun.
And Taladia's out the either.
No, I'm here. I'm just.
Okay.
My eyes are just kind of like hurting, so I kind of.
Sorry, man. But anything you would change about Son of Batman?
The only thing I'd change is not. I mean, I like everything except for the whole Man-Bat knowing Bruce Wayne's identity. That's the only thing that I got nitpicked with.
Wait, was Man-Bat even in? Wait, yeah, he
was. Langstrom was.
He himself wasn't transformed. Okay, because I almost didn't recognize him.
Yeah, but he knew the Back family's identity and stuff, and I was just like, wait a minute, how does he know their identity? Isn't it supposed to be a secret?
But before we move on, Cameron Bailey says, do you guys agree that Dcamu popularized Damian with casuals? No, and the reason,
to an extent, I think so.
There was some momentum there, but it was grounded to a halt by Injustice, which came out around the same time.
Oh yeah, Injustice ruined a lot.
Like, so they both premiered around the same time, so you got to take both into account.
Mm-hmm.
But Jaladia, what were we gonna say before we move on?
No, I was gonna say I do not accept the fact that you can't take away the fact that Injustice video games are better than the comics. So
the gameplay themselves is better. It's just the comics and the backstory where I'm like, no.
Now, that's a fair point. I definitely prefer the original Elseworld Batman son with Mike Barr to where Bruce and Talia were mutual because YouTube. I definitely.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would prefer that more than anything in an ideal scenario. But they were adapting Grant Morrison's work, and they openly admitted that they didn't take the time to read Batman and Son when they were contracted for their run. They just didn't take the time to read it. Read Son of the Demon. They openly admitted that. So you can't really. Yeah, but in terms of the perception of Damian Wayne as a character, Injustice played a role in that. So, Tevia, that's what I'm saying. But where was I? Oh yeah, Throne of Atlantis. Now again, Manta playing more of a villain, and then kind of like Orm kind of doing his own thing. All the mommy issues with Atlanta, like you didn't need all that. If you wanted Orm to be a schemer, have Orm be a schemer, not Manta hold his hand and then backstab him the moment Orm overplayed his hand, or what the whole mess up was the third act. I'm not saying you can't have both play off each other, because the Aquaman 2018 did improve on this movie. I'm just saying the execution was poor, and that cut down the scaling. If what I'm saying makes sense.
Yep, that works.
Anything you would change from Throne of Atlantis, Jared?
No, that movie is gorgeous and awesome.
Taladia, anything you would change? Oh, I guess all right. But actually his internet kicked out. But until Taladia comes back, actually some of the cutscenes did go somewhere. The one in War directly led to Throne of Atlantis, and the one in Throne of Atlantis led to the prologue and Justice League versus Teen Titans. There was at least some payoff to it. It may not have been what you wanted, but it was some payoff.
Yeah, and trust me, a lot of the payoff was not what I wanted.
But all right, Nightwing versus Robin. That's just a short that got cut from the final film to set up Talon. That could have just been a post-credit scene. I mean, you really didn't have to change much with that. Batman versus Robin, solid and arguably the best out of the Bad Blood trilogy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, maybe give Nightwing more to do. Maybe play more into the whole Grayson family tree and their connection to the court, rather than just making it focus solely on Bruce and Damian.
You could have, but I feel like for what it was trying to do, it succeeded.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But all right. So where was I? Okay. Front of Atlanta.
We just did Batman versus Robin.
Okay, so yeah, because I'm trying to go by release order. Bad Blood came like right after. But Bad Blood. Like I said, it's structurally Dark Knight Returns, just with Batwoman replacing Selena Kyle. And
you mean Rises?
You got me. All right, roll the timestamp, 38 minutes. You got me. But but structurally, it's the same. The only difference is Bruce doesn't go into hiding at the end.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I feel like, see, the reason why I kind of like this, because that's when you get the Bat family and stuff and all that stuff. But I get that this is from the comics, but the heel turn for Talia is completely BS.
Your only justification, Bruce revived her using Lazarus, and the Lazarus corrupted her. That doesn't mean a heel turn would have been that quickly.
Yeah, it normally happens like later, or like eventually it wears off in the case of Jason.
Yeah, if we were talking like Ra's al Ghul, yeah, he's been exposed to it so many times. Like, yeah, you could easily get away with it because it's Ra's.
But no,
it just doesn't work with Talia, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But then you have Justice League Dark, because Justice League Dark, because I'm trying to remember go by release order.
My favorite scene in that is when Zatanna just stops and casts a spell, and then Batman like turns his head, and then there's Superman like punching him. I'm like, oh, that was badass.
Sorry about that. I had to check something. But yeah, I mean, you can't really change much, but just maybe maybe cut Batman out. But again, you kind of need Batman for the marketing.
Yeah, you need you can't. And see, here's the problem. It's like a lot of people say, like, why is Batman in this movie? Why is Batman in this movie? Why is Batman used to market a thing? Because Batman sells, and Justice League Dark, yes, it has Justice League in it, but those characters alone won't necessarily work.
I mean, I understand it, but story-wise, Bruce didn't need to be in this one from a story standpoint.
He plays literally. Well, he plays close to zero role in this.
Then Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Loved it. This movie was great. They also had the Sailor Moon homage with the morphing sequences. It's Morbin time. And then I had to. And then Superman, Wonder Woman, obviously. And I like the whole Damian arc where he goes, no, I'm not an Al Ghul. I'm a Titan.
Yeah, but again, there's not really much I would change from Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Me neither.
It's because good. Yeah, it does take elements from Trigon the Terrible, but other than that, it's a pretty solid. It's a decent movie for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got right after Judas Contract again. In terms of comparing the source material, outside the roster change and Nightwing being established, straightforward adaptation, page for page, panel for panel. But when you make Damian the voice of reason, that's when you know your plot doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
And it's bad enough, and Pika would agree with me on this. They effectively made Deathstroke Scar.
And by the way, Tavia, why would Cyborg be in the Judas Contract? He's not on the Titans.
I mean, yeah, if you want to call back to the source material, but you could swap him out with Jaime. He would literally play the same role. He gets electrocuted. He gets electrocuted sitting in a chair.
And he straight up said he's never gonna go to the Titans because he goes, when you're in the big leagues, you don't want to go back to the minors.
You couldn't have poorly worded that if you tried.
No, I mean minor leagues. You know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean, but does the chat know what you mean? But yeah, again, it just boiled down to, like, I get the callback to Son of Batman and all the Teen Titans 03 references with the Robin versus Deathstroke rivalry, but it doesn't work. At best, Damian versus Deathstroke is a blood feud from a coup d'etat. At worst, it's Scar from the freaking Lion King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. That's what it is.
Like, it just doesn't work. Maybe if Damian was shown more unhinged, kind of being a jerk and going off the deep end, like, okay, Slade survived, Tara helped in it, I'm taking them both down, then yeah, maybe you could justify keeping Damian out of the loop. But as is, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like Judas Contract should have gotten a rewrite. Again, that's just my opinion.
It could have used a couple more passes.
But, okay, so after Judas Contract, then there was Death of Superman.
Crap. I would have I see. Here's how I would change it. Don't get rid of the Superman Wonder Woman relationship. Keep that. Make that the emotional time, because we've never seen Death of Superman with Superman being with Wonder Woman. Because the way they did it, it's literally just the same story over and over and over again. I don't want to see this again.
Isn't that what Super Doom was supposed to be?
Yeah, but they didn't kill him. At least they did something new with that, where he was turning into Doomsday.
No, Suicide Squad was after Death, but before Reign. It was kind of in between, at least from what I'm remembering.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, that would have been an interesting idea. Something the tie-in comics likely could have done too. But yeah, that was kind of wasted potential all the same. Mm-hmm. But as for Reign, again, I mean, you're replacing Mongol with Darkseid, and I'm just like, okay, I know the higher ups are starting to, pull the plug on you guys at this point. You could tell with this film. But if we didn't have to worry about that, I just would have had Mongol. Maybe not do Emerald Twilight. Because that's way too much setup. Way too much.
If you're not going to do a Green Lantern movie, don't do Emerald. Don't set up a Green Lantern movie.
Just don't. My 2 cents, I loved all these movies. I don't see the point of so much nitpicking. Again, these are good movies, but
they're fun to watch. I'll watch them occasionally. It's just there are a few of them where I'm like, I'll watch a few of the. I'll watch ones more likely. That makes sense.
And Tevia, to answer your question, the only ones that got tie-in comics were Suicide Squad and Death of Superman. Those were the only ones that got tie-in comics. At least to my knowledge, those were the only ones. But okay, then we got Reign, and then next is Wonder Woman Bloodlines. All right, Jared, lay it on me. How would you change Wonder Woman Bloodlines?
Don't do it.
Okay,
so if I can't do that, because I know you're gonna tell me that's cheating, Okay, so what you need to do, okay, so it does some stuff right. Let me tell you what it does right. Julia and Vanessa Capitelis are barely ever shown in Wonder Woman lore, so props. The animation style is really different. I mean, the art style, and it shows, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Get rid of Steve Trevor. You can keep Ferdinand. Just don't have Steve in there at all. Like I've said before, once he leaves the island, he plays zero role. And then make that like Wonder Woman's Hush. What I mean by that is have it be a better, because the thing about Hush, I mean the comic Hush, not the crappy movie Hush. The thing about the comic is that's a good introduction to Batman's world because it has so many elements of Batman's world. Where that's what Wonder Woman needs, because you can show people all this, because Wonder Woman has a great like rogues gallery and supporting cast, just no one ever sees them because it's like with Tom King, he didn't want to use the Wonder Girls.
And I guess we might as well mention it now. How would you change Hush?
Do Hush. Literally keep everything else the same, because everything else is fine. Make it either Jason Todd or actually Thomas Elliott. Because you can do the Thomas Elliott that was shot and they buried, that's Clayface. There you go. You're done. That's a change, but it still results in the same ending of the story. Tavia, what does Steve Trevor being in Justice League War have to do with me cutting him out of Wonder Woman or saying he plays no role? I know he was in the movie. I'm just saying in general, he doesn't work.
And Brown, you want to do a Q&A session right quick while we at it when we get to the last few films?
Yep, I'm good.
Yeah, so Brown Story, hang on to that question. I will soon answer. But as for me, like it's a no-brainer. It's either pull an Arkham Knight and have it be Jason Todd, or fully commit to an adaptation and make it Thomas Elliott. And you can still keep the movie as is. Just instead of
because literally up until the end, it's Hush.
Like it is solid. Probably, yeah. I mean, Clayface even plays a role posing as Riddler. Enigma getting access to one of the few remaining Lazarus pits. I mean, it's there. I mean, there is a solid adaptation here. It's just, I get it was done for subversion and simplicity, but no. But in execution, just no. And this is why I say this. The only way Riddler would have even been remotely as macabre long enough to blackmail and extort all the other heavy hitters in Gotham is if Riddler actually had a sense of tact.
Mm-hmm.
He's way too much of an egomaniac, especially in the Arkhamverse.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have gave himself away 8 ways from Sunday. But exactly. that's my 2 cents about Hush. As for okay, now we're on Apocalypse War. Okay. Full disclosure, my honest opinion, no more trolling Jared the rest of this video. I promise. No more trolling. Sure? I promise.
So in which case, pretty dope movie. I really enjoyed it. It's not the conclusion that I would have liked. And even Sam said at that point, they knew they were like kneecaps. They're like, we have to wrap this up somehow. I do kind of like how the universe starts because of Flashpoint and then it ends because of a second Flashpoint. That's a cool way to like bookend it.
Yeah, but that is a very, very low bar.
If you're taking into account the entire story with Hush, in other words, Arkham City and then Night, yeah.
Yeah, but Night alone, yeah, that's a low bar. But yeah, anything I would really change from Apocalypse War? Yeah, Flashpoint, Barry using the second Flashpoint until we later learned what else Constantine did in Crisis. That was always not gonna please everyone. That was always gonna feel like a cop out. But all in all, I mean, it's decent for what it is. There's not much story to it, mind you. But for what it is, it's a good wrap-up film.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? 10 movies, was it, the original?
15. Dcamu, 15.
15. I'm not including the Tomorrowverse, by the way.
Yeah, this is strictly the Dcamu, 15 films. And 1 short. Wait,
did they ever release like all 15 in one box set or something? Because I
If they
remember
did, they combined it with the DC, that whole collection box with some of the DC animated original movies, which were standalone adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think some Dcamu movies were included in that box up to a certain year.
Mm-hmm.
But whether
they did,
yeah,
okay.
but okay. Question: how do you guys feel about the Titans Massacre and Apocalypse War?
So they had to wrap up the universe. That's it. They couldn't do another Teen Titans movie, and you have to establish stakes in a way that's like, okay, there's no way we can come back to this universe.
And you already have the Suicide Squad, and then you have a depowered Clark, and then you have the
Lois
Resistance.
dying. That was awesome.
You know what? I told you enough this video, Jed. I'm just gonna let you have that.
Thank you. I really appreciate
but the way she died was like untimely.
No, I'm fine with it.
It could have been better. I mean, it could have been better the way she died, but she.
yeah, more of a swan song. I mean, she leads the resistance. She fights alongside the Suicide Squad. They get overwhelmed, and then rather than a paradigm for now, I'm just contextualizing the scene for y'all. She literally holds out right till the detonator goes off, and she's consumed in the blast. Like compared to what happened to Lex Luthor, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, who's turned to Groot for some reason, and Harley Quinn. I mean, it's a little tame, is what I'm trying to say.
I was fine with it. And you also have, I'm not going to make that joke.
Too easy. But Dcamu is short for DC Animated Movie Universe, in case you were curious, Brown Destroyer.
It's the movies from Flashpoint to Dark Apocalypse War.
Pretty much that's what it was.
And do you want to talk about the Revelation Crisis? You want to save that for
save that if we do Tomorrowverse.
Yeah, okay. Save that for Tomorrowverse. Yeah.
All right, now we're at the Q&A. Anything you guys want to ask myself, Jared, Taladia, anything you want to ask? We'll spend a few minutes on this Q&A, and then we'll wrap up.
I think Brown Destroyer asked about our opinions on the Absolute universe. Jay, why don't you go first?
Oh, sure. As for me, yes, I am definitely impressed with the Absolute universe so far for what they've been able to tell. Absolute Wonder Woman issue 2 was definitely a standout for this week for me. Absolute Batman has potential, but again, it's a Batman product, so it's not really doing a whole lot to stand out from other Batman books.
Batman stuff is going to sell. It's
going to sell regardless. I mean, I'm just speaking purely from a quality standpoint. But yeah, commercially, it's going to sell regardless. As for Absolute Superman, it just feels like a role reversal between Clark and Kara. Like, what if Clark was a teenager when Krypton was destroyed, and that was the only change they really thought of? But again, maybe the more I read the story, the more my opinion changes. Taladia, what do you think of the Absolute title so far?
I'm loving it. Like I covered the first 2 issues of all three of the Trinity. Well, sorry, we're doing the Trinity. Hopefully, we'll be able to do the Trinity this week, but I don't think I will this week. But I'll talk behind the scenes about that. But I really enjoyed. I think Batman's been really knocking out the park, and Wonder Woman's finding interesting.
At least it's better than Tom King.
I guess that's probably why it's selling as much as it is.
I was telling this to a friend of mine. It's because I know it's like how embarrassing is it that like the universe that is marketed as not Wonder Woman is outselling by a lot the official Wonder Woman book. That shows it's not the IP that sucks. It's just your handling of it.
Guys, if you think Absolute Universe is going for 2 years,
no,
no.
We've answered this question many times again.
Yeah, I'm not. No. And it kind of was his fault. I mean, it raised the stakes. They really wanted to make. There were a lot of callbacks to other earlier mediums sprinkled for the Dcamu if you know where to look. So Superman's decision to pick a fight with Darkseid leading up to Apocalypse War was definitely a callback to Estas. But instead of Clark somehow beating the odds, i.e. Legacy, Clark screws up big time and dooms everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Do you guys think the DCU could have started out the same way? I mean, that's kind of one of the things. Starting with Justice League War, kind of what made the Dcamu stand out. I don't think lightning would strike twice in that scenario, Cameron.
No, I don't think. I mean,
you can't. Here's the thing: we're in a post ZSJL world where the ZSJL did a lot to like give the Justice League a little bit of a boost. So I do think that if they went with that in that direction, in that new direction, if you will, Jay, I think that they could have gone. I think that could have worked. I think we're beyond the point where you need set-up movies before you go to like a main movie.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
Absolute Superman might not be very powerless compared to usual. Maybe.
Well, I know Absolute Superman, according to Jason Aaron, he's a solar battery. So that's why in like issue 1, he was like recharging on the roof. How would you guys see? Again, that's...
Is that a repeat question?
I don't think so. No. So I'm not going to hold that against you, but it's like, that's a question that I got to think about because that's like, that requires some setup.
I mean,
go on.
It depends on which way you go about it. Are you trying to do the origin of John Stewart, which is what the Tomorrowverse tried to do? Are you going to go with like a flashback to Green Lantern before the events of JL Justice League War? It just depends how you go about it. Maybe introducing Kyle Rayner. I mean, not Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that as an example.
Mm-hmm.
But it just depends. It really does depends on how you want to go about it with Green Lantern. But I mean, but we definitely should have got a Flash movie, maybe even a Shazam movie. Even I mean, there were possibilities.
I don't think Shazam could have done well enough. I think we probably could have used a good Wonder Woman movie.
But Shazam doesn't sell. I'm sorry.
His movie proves that.
Yes, it was just a lightning in a bottle effect. It's not gonna do it twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I hate. You know what? I'm gonna put this out there. I know Crazy Joe isn't gonna watch this stream, so I'm gonna put this out there.
Here we go.
Crazy Joe, get this facts right. It was only a one-time thing. Shazam 2 did not reach $1 billion,
or any justifiable like thing.
Wait, did it make the same numbers as Black Adam did? I think it did better than Black Adam.
Hang on, I'll check. I have the book that tracks all this. All right, so let me see.
Luckily, Garrett's is a book.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods made $133.8 million, and Black Adam made $393.3 million. So Shazam got its ass kicked because you didn't make it a Shazam versus Wonder Woman movie.
I think Shazam versus Black Adam would have been the more obvious choice.
Well, that too, but I'm just saying for that story that you wanted to tell, Shazam versus and Wonder Woman team up, that makes the most sense. Fury of the freaking Gods is in the title.
By the way, Connor Kent.
Connor by a mile. John Kent is not even in that conversation. Sorry, Tevye, but John Kent's not in that conversation.
Any other questions you guys have for us?
No, but I'm just saying, like Shazam was a lightning in a bottle effect, right?
I agree.
Aquaman, I get, right? Aquaman is a top tier Justice League member.
Shazam, and his first movie at least made $1 billion.
I think in the Silver Age he was a founding Justice League member as well.
Yep.
Yes, he was. So I hate to say this, but I'm just saying that, look, it's a lightning in the bottle effect. You're not going to strike. It doesn't strike twice. It doesn't strike twice.
Oh, okay. Randy, Dcamu should have at least tried to do a Superman Wonder Woman team up movie.
Yes. Thank you, Randy. Yes, that's what they should have tried. But then again, remember who's behind all the DCAMU? A bunch of post-crisis people.
Now let's not throw too much shade at Sam Liu and James.
No, it's not Sam Liu. I give no like hate to Sam Liu. I love you, Sam, if you're watching this. I give it all to Tucker.
So basically Tucker.
Because he said Lois plays a vital role in Death of Superman.
Reign.
I'm like, no. Reign, yes, but Death, no.
In Death, she's just there because in an Exos.
She's there to be at the end where he dies.
That's it. And you get the iconic pose. I mean, and Reign, she gets
I was like, these are the people that DC has in charge.
Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos. Hold on, let me check the Rotten Tomatoes for this.
No, in terms of like its ranking, it dropped.
Oh, because last time I checked on Creature Commandos, it was doing decent on Rotten Tomatoes. It
started on number 2 on Max, and then it went down to like number 6.
It's still in the top 10, so that's
still if you're tracking viewership, it's not that good. Probably because it's Creature Commandos.
Okay, but just for those curious, hold on, that's the original press reel. Hold on, I'm just trying to. That's an art. They must not have them out yet. But last time I checked, they were doing like 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Again, Rotten Tomatoes is not an indicator of movie quality.
But it's a TV show.
Or TV show quality.
See, he just makes it too easy. You know I'm messing with you, Jared.
I know. You do it so well.
But okay. All right. I guess because I know I'm likely going to get asked this question anyway. Any predictions for Superman Legacy, or just whatever you would want in the movie?
Predictions as in box office?
Sure.
$400 million.
Slightly better than Black Adam.
Slightly better, but definitely less than Man of Steel. And in terms of, let me put it this way, Superman Legacy bombing alone is not necessarily going to derail the entire DC.
Hello?
Hello?
Because if they did promise that, then guess what? It's not going to do well. But in terms of, I would imagine we're going to see like a lot more of Creature Commandos era stuff. In other words, like more of like an already established universe that feels lived in. That's one of the cool parts about Creature Commandos, honestly.
Yeah, that's definitely its appeal. Don't get me wrong. Claudia, what do you think?
I think 455, maybe 500. But that's me being realistic.
500 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say in that range as well.
But that's me being honest instead of it being, genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if there's anything definitively referenced or confirming connections to the center, but if you're just going to do Justice League New Frontier, then okay. I mean, at least with Creature Commandos, you have some setup for it. But that's the most adapting New Frontier is the most predictable choice you could make.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to mention a CGI nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, with all the monsters and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah.
Let me put it this way. Do I think Superman can be good? Yes, 110%. I think it can be good. You know what? Yeah, I know I'm tough on James Gunn, but I'm going to give it 110% the benefit of the doubt. Because guess what? I enjoyed Creature Commandos so far. Yes, there were some parts I didn't like, but overall I enjoyed it. And he's wheeling me in slowly. We'll see if he can get me in. Well, we'll see on Creature Commandos if he can get me like 100% on his side. Still won't. Superman is going to be the determining factor if I go full on. Okay, this can be something cool. Oh my gosh, Jay Heat. God damn it. Every time I try to be nice on Jay, here comes this a-hole.
You set me up perfectly. Like, come on. The setup was there.
God.
You did. I'm sorry, you did.
Okay, I'm done. All right. Final thoughts, gentlemen. Before we wrap up.
Not really.
Nope.
I can only say that. The only thing I can say is that if people haven't watched Dcamu, I'd recommend it up until Death and Reign of Superman. So that's what I would do.
That's where you feel like the quality drops around Death and Reign.
Yep, around that point, I would say, because you had like solid films and like Flashpoint, War, the Batman movies for the most part. Yeah, they were all for the most part pretty good. And then you get War, and actually, I forget who brought it up in my chat, but someone said that like the problem with the DCAMU is that they took a new 52 universe and then just crammed in a bunch of post-crisis stuff, almost like what Rebirth did, and that didn't turn out well for Rebirth.
No, you mentioned.
And by the way, real quick, Brown Destroyer. Gunn said there is not going to be a central big bad.
Yeah, it's not going to be like an overarching story like the Infinity Saga, for example. But if you want the actual villain of Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, yeah, you could make a plausible argument it's going to be the center and they're adapting New Frontier, but it would be a production nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
Logistically.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, what do you guys have coming up? Thank you so much, guys. I mean, Jared, you've been a great sport. I really appreciate it.
You tried my patience, you person.
Well, there's always April Fools.
Try, but fail. Try or try not, as this is Yoda says.
No, he said do or do not. There is no try. Yeah. Teladia, get the line right.
All right, guys. Whatever you guys need to promote, what you guys got coming up on your channel.
So I got Super Wonder Legacy episode 70, where Britt and I talked about adapting a special Wonder Woman comic. On Saturday, it's going to be another live couples comparison where we're going to be talking about Scott Summers and Emma Frost, the best couple in all of Marvel. Suck it, Jean Grey. Well, how about you stay alive for 5 minutes? And on Wednesday, I'm releasing a video on if I wrote Superman, here's what I would do. In terms of Under Two Capes, I don't have a topic yet. I'll come up with one. But for gaming, we're going to be doing Lego Batman. So, and then we're going to do a live Under Two Capes. And then that night, we're also doing my live members only panel. So be on the lookout for that. And movie night is going to be sky high.
All right. Teladia?
Okay. As for me, I'm going to try and if the back of my head is still hurting, I probably will cancel Snyder Fans Read Comics this week. But if not, that will be the case.
Just let me know.
Same.
Yeah, but if my head gets better, I'll definitely be doing Snyder Fans Read Comics on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm doing the Game Awards on Twitch, and I'm also on Wednesday night into Thursday. If all is well, then I'm also going to be doing recordings for Marvel Rivals, as I'm actually a content creator. I'm in the content creator program for that, so I've got to do content on that. And I got the Punisher 2099 suit, so I'll be doing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So I'll be doing that, and then on the weekend I'll be on the what was it called, Sci-Fi Center, because they've invited me on to do What Spider-Man No Way Home again. So
not bad.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be doing that.
All right. As for let me get you out of.
And I forgot to mention, I'm also doing the Creature Commandos reaction on Thursday night.
All right. As for me, you can find me and Jay right here on the channel. I do gaming reviews. Swoltor, my Swoltor remaster is still coming out. The Damian Wayne retrospective is still in the works. It'll probably more straight to the point rather than this little what we did here. It'll be a lot more straight to the point. But And overall, just trying to push for 300 before the end of the year. I got a collab with Taladia coming up with for Blazing Shonen. We're just trying to figure out what topic it'll be before, if we can get one in before the end of the year. Also a Christmas special for the channel where we'll review Deadpool and Wolverine. So if you guys want to vibe and chill on that. And I'll then collab again with Jared for the next edition of New Direction Verse. Well, you know what? I'll let that one be a surprise. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up?
Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod. There's always a Maxabat for life. We'll see you later.
Well, you forgot Steve Trevor, Steve Never. You got to get it right. You're going to steal my thunder.
Well, yeah, Steve Trevor is Steve Never anyways. But you can add that to the edition. That's your thing. So.
You know what? I'll be merciful tonight. Good night, everybody.